Hey everybody, it's Matt again, and I have a great lesson for you today. In fact, it is a lesson that will make an absolute massive difference in the results you have in your business. And if you apply it correctly, and if you really get down to the heart of the matter and apply this the way it needs to be applied, it will have just as big of an impact in your personal life. But the great thing about it too is it's going to answer a lot of the questions that have been nagging you for a long time. Questions that you just never kind of knew the answer to, that you thought probably, hey, I'm on my own, or why am I thinking this, or why am I doubting it? And it was just stuck in your craw. But yet every time you talk to a sales trainer or a coworker or a manager, they would just tell you something to be motivated. And really, in a sense, it's just, kind of putting you one step further into a dream world that really doesn't exist. But we're going to talk about something in the pickup community we call an abundance mindset. And we're actually going to hit both sides of it. So in addition to the abundance mindset, we're going to talk about the opposite. And we're going to start with that right now. And the fact that most people, and I mean 90% of the people out there, your customers, your colleagues, and I'm sure you, definitely me, for most of my life, had a scarcity mindset. And what that means is that you look at whatever resources you have in your life as limited. So if it's sales, there's only so much money you can make. If it's a job market, there's only so many jobs out there. And in the pickup community, it's women. So we would go out and you'd meet or see this really, really beautiful girl. And in the people that have a scarcity mindset, the first thought that pops in their head is, look, this is, I'm not going to run into a girl like this, so I really need to be on point. I need to have my game tight. Because once, if this doesn't work out and, I'm not able to pull her, then, for the rest of the night, it's a shot because there's nobody that's going to be better than that. Whereas realistically, that's a big, big downfall for a lot of people. And for salespeople, it's the same thing. I worked in the telemarketing world where, you make 250 calls, or at least the people around me made 250 calls. And when you get somebody on the phone, it's like you finally get that fish on your hook. You finally, you're hungry, you're starving, you can't find any food, and you finally run into a cheeseburger. And immediately, your behavior toward that is just completely different. You put a lot of pressure on yourself, and realistically, you end up putting a lot of pressure on your customer as well. And they feel that. And that really is the number one thing that makes your customers want to run away from you. And it's an inborn thing that most people believe in. And so when they believe that the resources are scarce and they run into somebody who is a viable candidate, they feel this huge pressure that they need to close them. And people who have, businesses where it's sporadic business, but it's high ticket items like real estate agents or people that are in corporate sales, you get somebody to a point where they're finally ready to close, and then the scarcity mindset literally takes their feet out from under them. It sabotages everything they do. So the cure for that, and this is not an easy thing, guys, but it's a simple concept. The cure for that is what we call in the community an abundance mindset, which is really simple. It just means that what you're looking for, the resource, the outcome, whatever you're seeking is unlimited. Literally, we would go out and we would see a really hot girl. We would stop putting pressure on ourselves to close her because we would feel that, look, this is going to be, I'm going to meet 6 girls like her, 10 girls like her, and most of those 10 are probably going to be hotter than her. Most of them are probably not going to have the same lack of social skills that she does, and I'm going to have a better opportunity later on. So all of a sudden, then when you realize you're really working, you're not working at like the number one thing that you're looking to get for the night, but you realize it's going to go, the opportunities you have are going to go up and up and up. You really stop putting pressure on yourself. And it also ties in with the term we have in the community called one-itis. And it goes back, and if you guys haven't watched that video, if you have it in your email, great. If you're a new subscriber, I would definitely have you go to our YouTube page and look up one-itis, O-N-E-I-T-I-S. And basically, what it means, it's that sickness of the mind that causes you to completely change who you are to get, basically an outcome because you don't think there's going to be another one coming. But when you have an abundance mindset, you realize that everything, you're going to find somebody better than what you did before. I mean, you just are. So no matter if the girl's really hot, if she's a model, if she's famous, whatever it is, you know, it's literally like a butcher line. You know, they just have a number, and if they're not doing the things that really are there to please you, and then it's next. It's move on. Well, in the sales world, it's the same thing. You get somebody and you work really hard. You finally get somebody on the phone. You get somebody to answer your email, and then you get them to a point where they're in the closing stages of the sale, and you start to really feel like, man, I've dedicated all this time and energy to closing, you know, to getting this person at this point. I need to close it. Maybe your manager's even on your butt. Maybe it's at a point where you're really close, and it's a make or break thing for your sales goal. And so what happens is you start to change how you behave. You're not the normal person that we all know and love. You are this hyper tense, objective-based mindset person that really is causing the other person to freak out. And what happens is, you know, when this is present in your life, when they get to that point and the person on the other end basically gives you some wishy-washy answer, they're on the fence and they're saying, okay, no problem, I got to talk to my wife, or I got to get this signed off on, or hey, I can't do anything today, but call me tomorrow and we'll do it. But really, that's just a practical excuse that they have for putting you off, because they know they're not going to want to talk to you again, because you have demonstrated this scarcity mindset, and it's really turned them off. And that actually ties into something else. One of the things about a scarcity mindset, when people subconsciously see it, and again, this is not something where people kind of do the mental math at a conscious level, but when they see a scarcity mindset, they look at somebody as lower value, because they know that you're the best thing that they're ever going to get, and whatever they're used to is lower than you. And people don't want to, people don't want to be with people, whose aspirations are beneath them. They want to be around people whose aspirations are above them. That's, there's an old saying, people want what they can't have. It's not that people, want what they could easily have. They want something that elevates their ego. And this goes back to the Attraction Switches series. And if you haven't purchased that series, I definitely recommend it. A lot of the concepts that we have here are based off of things in that series. So this is a concept that, again, it's not a one-off, guys. This is not something that, you're going to just, watch this once, or you're going to, multitask while you're listening to this. And if you are, stop doing it, guys. But this is something that you really need to, when the video's over, you need to play it again, and you need to take notes. And then you need to kind of go through your life for a couple days and watch how you behave. And you can start to see that scarcity mindset. 99.9% of people have it. But the people who changed, and again, it's kind of a binary code thing. You're either on a scarcity mindset or abundance mindset. But the people who have moved from a scarcity mindset to an abundance mindset, their goals change, their expectations change. And what happens is all the results that they have kind of migrate with that. So they're not demonstrating this scarcity view of the world and hoping that this person can have a utilitarian, basically aspect or role in the process where their job is just to make you feel better about yourself. People hate that. I mean, they're going to run, guys. But rather, when they see somebody with an abundance mindset and they're around somebody that just everything, naturally gets attracted to them, they want to be a part of it. And when you learn how to do that, guys, when you can really start implementing this in your life, the people that you have, whether they're in the initial stage of a call where you're just introducing yourself, or if they're a point where it's the inking stage, as I like to call it, there's really not a whole lot of work. You don't have to go through all the machinations that most people make you do, and you're kind of been trained to do at that point. But there are things that literally you can tap into their subconscious, and they're going to immediately not just want to buy from you, but obsess over buying from you. And they're going to track you down. This happens all the time, but it only happens all the time to the people who have transferred from a scarcity mindset to an abundance mindset. If you want to get there, I can help you get there. There's resources available to you within the Negotiator's Playbook. If you really want to make that step, and where a lot of this is resonating with you, there's things that you can do right now to literally just move and never move from the scarcity mindset to that abundance mindset and never go back. So on our website, a couple things, great starting point. I would definitely recommend the Attraction Switches series. It's really going to go into, unlocking a lot of the things that people have, a lot of the subconscious, a lot of the subconscious processes that people have that really make them act, that make them go one way or another. And when you do that and you gain that confidence, Again, that's a huge, huge step once you start to really understand the playbook that the other person is running to moving from that abundance mindset. You know their playbook, you know what they're going to run, and at that point, it's really easy to dominate. So I would recommend doing that. If you have any questions, definitely shoot me an email. I was just, emailing a couple of our students and a couple of the subscribers on this newsletter the last couple of days. Definitely recommend it. You can send it to the email address at the bottom of the screen right now. I definitely would love to hear from you. If you're not already following me on Twitter, I'd recommend doing that. We post a lot of really good things on there. Facebook as well. Definitely hit me with a like on Facebook. But really, if you're at a point where you're just sick of where you're at, and these things are resonating with you, it's time to get started. No more dipping your toe in the pool and spending one more day with that scarcity mindset that is impoverishing you. Get started now. Go to our website, sign up for the Attraction Switches series, and if you really, really want to get deep, we have a complete community online of people just like you who are transitioning from that impoverished state of scarcity to this unlimited state of abundance. And you can start with that today. Other than that, I hope you guys have an absolutely fantastic day, and we'll talk to you soon.